All right, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, right about 11 o'clock. It's July 13th. We're here with your headlines on this Thursday as things have unfolded this morning for several hours, certainly. A few stories we're following for you this morning, including one that is unfortunately a familiar refrain for anyone who lives really in Metro Atlanta. This is something that's been occurring really all over our viewing area, but certainly there have been some concentrated areas, even counties where this has been an ongoing problem. We're talking about shootings, particularly deadly shootings at gas stations. It's been a real issue. In fact, in DeKalb County, there's actually a new rule going into effect for gas stations there to have proper security camera equipment in place. This particular shooting did not happen in DeKalb, but just to give you an idea for some context as to what we're dealing with here. But overnight, a man was killed and a woman was hurt. It appears this woman may not have had anything to do with this initial altercation. There was a dispute of some kind at a gas station on Sylvan Road in southwest Atlanta. And it ended up that one man was killed on the scene there, and then the woman was transported to Grady Memorial Hospital. Atlanta News First's Rebecca Schramm has been following this for us, and she picks up the story from here.
Paramedics rushed the woman here to the hospital. It's unclear where on her body she was shot. Detectives believe she may have been hit by a stray bullet. Let's take you to the scene from overnight in southwest Atlanta. This is an Amoco gas station on Sylvan Road, right where it intersects with Perkerson Road. According to the homicide commander, police got the call at about 12:30 a.m. that someone had been shot. When officers arrived, they found a man roughly 35 to 40 years of age on the ground in front of the store. They tried to revive him, but it was too late. He did not survive. Detectives believe it all started with a dispute that escalated into gunfire. They tell us they have the man who they believe pulled the trigger.
We are speaking to someone at our headquarters. He's not in custody as of now. He's being interviewed by investigators to get a determination of his role in the matter. We are working with the gas station to acquire surveillance footage. They've been very cooperative and is going to assist in our investigation.
As for the woman hit by the stray bullet, detectives were here at the hospital interviewing her to try to figure out what she saw and what connection, if any, she has to either party. If you have any information that might help detectives sort it all out, you're asked to give police a call. Live in Atlanta, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
Okay, and moving on now to another part of Atlanta. Now, this is some story that a lot of people are sadly pretty familiar with here in the metro, and this is traffic. You can see here on I-75. This was yesterday, so just for some context, I don't want to alarm anybody thinking that this is what 75 looks like right this moment, but certainly a huge issue yesterday for those commuting home to Cobb County. I-75 is back open and good to go, but this is a look at the bumper-to-bumper traffic during rush hour. It was near State Route 5 and All Good Road exit. Authorities say this happened because of a dump truck that hit the overhead sign, and it actually collapsed, blocking 75. Now, all northbound lanes of 75 were shut down for more than 2 hours, and it really impacted not just commuters, but people who are traveling through this area that aren't even from around Atlanta.
It was really bad. So to the point where, I'm like, where's the next gas station? I'm about to run out of gas. It was that bad.
And at this point, there's no word on when GDOT will replace that fallen sign, but certainly good news to know that 75 is clear. Certainly not seeing the scene that we were yesterday around rush hour where traffic was backed up for miles. I want to move on to a story that's been ongoing. We're talking about potential strike for...
If actors go on strike, it'll be the first time since the 1960s that them and the Writers Guild went on strike at the same time. Right now, with the Writers Guild being on strike, a lot of productions here in Atlanta have slowed down. Well, industry insiders say that if the actors go on strike too, most productions will probably stop altogether. The Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, had set a deadline for 11:59 Wednesday with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers to come up with a deal. The main issue at hand is money. The actors want the new deal to have pensions, healthcare contributions, and additional payments when the shows they appear in air on streaming services. There are also concerns over AI replacing performers in TV and in film.
I think this is a wake-up call not only for the entertainment industry, but for every industry to really look at that and say, we are not being paid fairly. We are not being paid a fair share of the pie for what we are contributing to these industries.
According to SAG's website, their board of directors are going to meet this morning to vote whether or not to strike. And if they do say yes to a strike, it could start as soon as today. That means performers not going to set to act and not going out to promote their film and their TV shows. Reporting in Doraville, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
Certainly could have a massive impact on our entertainment industry, which we know that Atlanta is a huge part of at this point as well. So another story this morning, and I have to read this one to keep a straight face for you guys, because it is actually, to me, seems ridiculous. One tool, apparently, to fight loneliness could soon be, and get this, robot companions powered by artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence seems to be taking over most areas of really technology and just life in general. And I think we all know that it's something that is just a part of technology that's going to continue to grow in all industries. But this is a little strange, I think, for even most people's standards. According to researchers, companion robots could soon form strong social connections with humans. A survey of doctors actually found 70% of them think insurance should cover the cost of this technology. But researchers say we need to think about the ethical concerns of robotic companions and insist that having a real human friend is still the best solution. And if not a human, maybe a pet. How about that? How about we go and just get a dog instead of going with robot companions? Couldn't resist putting that one in. That headline caught my eye. More important than just the headline, the fact that 7 out of 10 doctors think insurance should cover the cost of robot companions. A lot of people have a hard time getting prescription medicine covered by insurance, so that's a little bit eyebrow raising as well. Okay, another want to end our, with our last headline, talking about something that really affects most people who commute to work. We're talking about cars. During the pandemic, we know that it was really difficult and very expensive to buy a new car. Also, used car prices were skyrocketing, but it appears right now that used car prices are actually falling. And Abby Kasouris is on that story for us. Obviously, a welcome relief for families who have been holding off on buying a vehicle.
Tony speaking.
Independent contractor Tony Butler with ATL Cars Direct says it's just like in economics class. His business is all about supplying the best used cars to fill the demand.
There is a lot of inventory available, but customers are being very picky about what they're getting now because they have the option to do so.
A recent study found during the pandemic, the cost of a used car went up by more than $4,000 to around $24,000. In the last month, there's been a significant decrease in used car prices, the largest decrease in years, dropping the price that you'd pay by more than $1,000.
Gives us the opportunity to market our cars and sell them at a much better price.
Rob Bott with Quote Wizard and Insurance Marketplace says problems making the price go up appear to be resolved, like the shortage of car chips that hindered new car production. Lower prices mean more choices.
If you need a car right away, this market is more favorable today than it was last month or last year. My crystal ball isn't that clear on this. It's trending in the right direction, and I think that's good news.
He says now is a good time to do some shopping, or you could wait a month. You might get a better deal. The Better Business Bureau reminds people to look for a BBB accredited dealership if you plan to do some shopping. In Decatur, I'm Abby Kasouris.
Good information there from Abby, certainly, if you're in the market. I have to say, regardless of if you are going for a used car or a new car, you're going to want to make sure your air conditioning works today, because it is going to be a hot, steamy day. Already warming up out there. Give you a live look at our city skyline from a distance from the north end of the perimeter in Sandy Springs. It is going to be a warm one, and our team of First Alert meteorologists will have an update on your forecast coming up on Atlanta News First at noon.